Let's get into this, shall we? This is not going to be pretty for a lot of the boys. Starting with Jack Higgins. 17 touches, no goals. 4. Ben Patton, 10 disposals. Played at half forward, but not his fault. Coaching, very odd that he went back and was very minimal in the game. 4. Ryan Burns, 17, 0 goals, 3 tackles. Didn't look up to the speed, unfortunately, and I've been a big advocate of him. I thought pre-season that he would be the big bolter to cement his spot in the best 22, but hasn't done it with any performance in the first that he has played this year, and he's been killing it at Sandy. That's at his speed, and right now AFL does not look like his speed, unfortunately. So for him, I'm going to go a 4 as well. Nasiah, 11 disposals, 5 tackles though, which is good. We didn't use him as much as we have in the past month. Whether that was just we weren't looking for him or he wasn't finding the right spots. I think it was a bit of both. That is a 4 for me as well. Cooper Sharman played in defence. Again, I don't know why. They didn't have Norton. We probably could have just elected to play Joyce there and play Sharman forward with the ball because our attack was just shambolic. Our structure was non-existent. But Sharman did the best that he could in the back line. He had 14 touches, 2 tackles, and 233 metres gain and 10 marks. So I'll give him a pass mark there. He did well, but there was a lot of the ball in the back line, so he was always going to get a lot of touches. And we'll see the majority of our best players are our defenders. I'll give him a 6 just because he was in a new position, kind of did what he needed to do. Paddy Ryder went off, only the 4 touches. Injury, so hopefully he's okay. Played very, very small part of the game, so I'll not give him a rating because he didn't play much of the game. Jimmy Webster, 25 disposals, only 304 metres gained from those 25. 4 tackles. He was pretty good, but his kicking wasn't at its best. 11 marks for him as well. I'll give him a 5. Brad Crouch, didn't notice him. 22 disposals. Most of our mids were just shite. I'm giving him a 4. Tim Membry, 18 disposals, 3 tackles. Again, no goals for Tim Membry. Getting sick of that. He played 1 good game against Carlton, and since then he's done nothing, similar to our club. I'm giving him a 5. Brad Hill, 11 disposals. Yeah, that was a tough one to watch for Bradley. Just couldn't get into it. That to me is a 3. I'm going to go a 3 for Bradley. I don't like giving 3s. Cal Wilkie was close to best on ground. For me, Cal, 27 disposals, 16 marks. Could have done much more in the back line in the absence of Dukes. That to me is that's a 9 out of 10. That is what we expect of Cal Wilkie. Jade Gresham, 24 disposals, but just didn't feel like he had any impact. I think he had 6 disposals to half time or something. He just didn't get into the game until late when, again, I think the Bulldogs just put the cue in the rack. That is a 5 for me. Dan Butler, 7 disposals, no goals, 2 tackles. That is a 2 for me. Rowan Marshall, 15 disposals. Around the ground was okay, but he pissed me off with the amount of times that he wanted the ball on his head and he wasn't willing to work for it, and that just spread across the whole team. Once one player just calls for the bomb, they all call for the bomb, and he's one of the leaders now. He needs to set a better example, and he didn't. That is a 4 for me, for Rowe, and that's his lowest for the year, I think. Ben Long came on late, had 10 disposals, and actually looked like he actually wanted to be there and was enthusiastic and chased. So I'll give him a 5. Obviously can't go much higher than that because he didn't play much of the game, but from what I saw, it was serviceable, and I think he should have started the game. Josh Battle, 22 disposals, 14 marks. I thought he was really good early. His ball use was a bit better than some of the players, but again, still prone to the odd turnover and cost us a few goals. But I thought for the majority of the game, he was actually pretty good and supported Wilkie really well. I'll give him a 6. Tom Highmore, 11 disposals. Again, didn't really set the house on fire. Did a few nice things, but also did a few bad things. That to me is a 5 out of 10 for Tom Highmore. Mason Wood, funnily enough, was one of our highest ranked players. 21 disposals, kicked a goal, took 13 marks. But it's weird when he just turned it over so much. And I think I've got here the stats of turnovers. How many turnovers did Mason Wood have? 4 turnovers. So that's not too bad. There's players that had more. But yeah, I don't know. I think him and Billings on the wing is just not going to work for us, unfortunately. I'm going to give Mason Wood a 4. Jack Steele, 26 disposals, 9 tackles, kicked a goal as well, free kick there. But again, just the lack of leadership from Steely. I think he really needs to get a bit more vocal. That's what captains need to do. It's not going to be enough to just set an example by doing stuff. He needs to really lift the boys, and there were times in the second half where he just got really angry with them, and I don't think that helps. I really don't think that helps. So his attitude sometimes, I think that can be a bit of a downfall for him. But again, in terms of his football, he played a good game. But it's not just about him playing a good game, it's about what he can do for his teammates, and that was lacking a fair bit yesterday, I thought. So I'm going to give him, despite all that, I'm going to give him a 6, because I think he could have done a lot more before it blew out the way it did. Jack Billings, similar to Mason Wood, 21 disposals. Stats-wise, looks good. Impact-wise, minimal. I mean, he did kick a goal, so you can't argue there, like Mason Wood. But I don't know. I just think there's still more to Billings, but we're just not getting it out of him. And I don't like that we're just kind of putting him on the wing in no man's land, when in the entire off-season we were going to talk about Billings is going to play as a small forward, because that's what he did in 2017. He was a gun at it, but it hasn't happened yet because Butler and Higgins are taking up those positions. So I want to see Billings deep. I think that's where he plays his best football. I think that's where he's most damaging, and that creates more headaches for the opposition. And right now, when Billings is on a wing, you kind of don't worry about it if you're the opposition. You'd be like, yeah, let him get a kick, let him do that. It's not going to hurt us from there. So I think Billings worked hard, kicked a goal. That's a 6 for me. Zach Jones, 18 disposals, but geez, he burns it. He burns the ball bad. He can't stick a tackle at the moment. He gets it, and then he just lets go. That's a 4. That's a 4. That's a 3, actually. I'm giving Zachy Jones with 18 disposals a 3. That's not good when you play full-time in the midfield. Jack Sinclair, amazing. 35 disposals, 36 disposals, 7 tackles to go with that, 11 marks. He was the best player on the ground for me. He tried his ass off all day and kicked such a classy goal on his left foot. For me, that's equal with Wilkie. That's a 9 out of 10. Max King kicked 2 goals too, had 12 disposals, took 6 marks, laid 2 tackles. Tough day at the office for Kingy, but again, similar to Rowe, was lazy at times and needs to get on his bike more. He worked up to the wing for a little bit in the first half, but once the game was taken away from us, we all just got lazy, and he was one of them as well. But he did still kick 2 goals, so that to me is a fairly good performance. Stats-wise, but again, there's so much more to him and to this team outside of these stats that they're capable of, but they're just happy to tick, okay, kicked a goal, kicked 2 goals, that's done. That's not good enough. It's not good enough. So for me, that is a 5 from Max King. He really didn't have a direct opponent. Like, they played Gardner on him, I think. He could have torn him to shreds, and we didn't utilise him. And he didn't create those opportunities for himself that made it easier. He loves taking contested marks. We know he does. He's ranked number 1 in the comp for it. But mate, you can take a lead. You can take a mark on a lead that's uncontested. It is possible. You have the skill. You have the pace. You just got to have the work rate. Right now, he and the rest of the team, very minimal work rate. And I usually forget, but this time I'm going to go with it. Rats, coach-wise, rating, 1. Not good enough. Not good enough, Rats and coaching team. The fact that we brought in Sharman, played him in defence. Then at times we see Paddo in the half-forward flank. Tim Membry's back into the back line after they kicked 7 goals in a row, whatever it was. Like, it's all over the place. I feel like we were overcoached. The fact that we were switching from side to side, we were not playing this stupid switch football in the first half of the year, and we didn't go down the guts once until the last quarter when the game was pretty much done and the Bulldogs put the cue in the rack and just were comfortable with where the game was at. So coaching-wise, yeah, that's a 1. Very disappointing, and there's a lot more that needs to be uncovered for us to fix what the hell is going on at this footy club, because a lot of fans are starting to get a bit fed up, and you know what, I'm one of them. So we need to do something. We need to fix something from every angle. It's not just the list. It's not just the coaches. It is the entire club. So we'll see what happens in the next week, but we all know what we'll get. It'll be disappointed, point fingers at a few people. We'll come back next week and we'll do it all again. So hopefully enjoy that, Saners. Please like, comment your thoughts, your player ratings, comment them Let me know if I was a bit too harsh or a bit lenient. I thought I was pretty reasonable there. Could have gone a few ones, I think, but yeah, that's the way it is. So let me know what you thought. Subscribe to the channel as well if you haven't already and you enjoy the content. I really appreciate it. Help us get to 4,000 by the end of the year. We're also on Instagram at Saints TV Pod. That always gets me. At Saints TV Pod on Instagram and Facebook, Saints TV. Yeah, so stay tuned for all that content on those channels. And we'll be back for the podcast Monday night. Marshy, Joycey, and myself. It is going to be an eye-opening experience, so can't wait for that. Till then, Sainers, enjoy the rest of your weekend. It's beautiful Saturday weather, the sun's out, and then your Sunday as well, and I'll see you during the week on Saints TV. Take care, Sainers. Go, you mighty Sainers.